Welcome back to the Norse Benchwarmers podcast. I'm your host, Colton Smith, sitting here next to my co-host, Ben Miller, once again. We also have producer Josh Northcutt over there, and special guest Alex Perez here for the third episode in a row. I think you're almost a host at this point. three of them there. We're here for our normal episode, and of course, director Garrett Jordan over there doing God's work in the director's booth. We're here for our regular episode, which did not get out thanks to my USB drive disappearing and then reappearing after it was too late to go through and edit and upload it. So shout out to the powers above. But how was your guys' weekend last week?
It was fun. Friday Football Live, of course. Got to go out to Newport High School, do some reporting, shoot some shots. Got to go out to Twin Peaks, Applebee's, watching the Bengals. Overall fun weekend.
Yeah, I would agree. It was nice to get out with y'all, and I was definitely homesick, but it was nice to go.
He got himself.
Yeah, it was nice to go out with y'all and have a few drinks and just have a good time.
Yeah, Friday football was a little stressful with nobody in the studio, but besides that, it was good.
You held it down pretty well.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm glad my final one didn't make it on there because I said back to you, Matt. And then I looked at the show and I was like, oh, Alex is on this week. So that worked out. But yeah, Friday Football Live has been a fun time. I was in Roger Bacon, which is a far away from the Corn, but a really cool stadium. And I like their tradition of them walking down the street, and then I could just hear in the distance the band coming down. I was like, what the hell's going on? And there they are, just coming down the street. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it was a really cool experience, and it was so weird, kind of how compact that field is, but. Anyways, moving on to college sports, though, we're going to give some NKU talk. NKU Volleyball, they haven't quite gotten to the conference start that we expected. They have won 3 of their last 4, though. They dropped a close game to Milwaukee on Friday, but then turned around and swept them on Saturday. So, Alex and Ben, I know you're both a little close to that, so I'll let you take it away.
All right, so the Milwaukee series, game 1, lost 3-2. Joy Banks doing what she does best with 14 kills, and overall, though, this game, Milwaukee had 77 kills and NKU had 58. And moving on to game 2, we have NKU winning 3-0. The Norse won all 3 sets. They really showed out. And as of today, they're 8-10 overall and 4-3 in conference play. So overall, great weekend, and great to see them above 500 in the Horizon League for sure.
Yeah, that first one Friday was a little tough. Drop set 2 and extra points after being up 22-17, so that's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
And then in the final set, we had match point ready, and then Milwaukee got 3 straight points to win it in 5 sets. That's tough. And I was also waiting on Matt Sexton to get back, so didn't even get good news after all that. But yeah, they were still good performances. Allison Risley with 15 kills, Lucy Cluxton 5 aces, Allie Sifke with 12 blocks.
5 aces in one game?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really good.
And then I think that really prepared them and let them know that they would be ready for Saturday, where, as Ben said, they did sweep. Joy Banks got her 1,000th career kill over the weekend.
Nice.
And then Sydney Bray and Ava Hoying had 7 kills, so they contributed big time. And Tori Houston with 19 assists just continues to be one of the best passers in all the Horizon League. And Lucy Cluxton with, I've lost count of how many 20-plus dig performances she's had.
Yeah.
But
I think she's atop the Horizon League. At least she was last week before those 2 games. She's definitely up there.
At least 5 of the last 6 have been 20-plus digs per game. And she had to move over to libero this season. This is not her normal position, so it's just been crazy to see.
Yeah, it's a young team, and they're just now getting close to 500, so I'm excited to see as they go through the Horizon League. And all it really matters is what is your final form. That's really the NKU all around, is what's your final form when you get to the conference tournament. And if this team's able to get through some of these growing pains, like the Milwaukee game, and come out on top in some of these closer games, they could absolutely end up playing, I almost said in March, but in the tournament.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this team grows. But we have another really good. Both of our soccer programs are good. There's the men's hasn't lost since August 29th. So
right, yeah.
That's very impressive.
and their only 2 losses are just by a score. So it's an interesting record to look at 2-2-7.
Yeah.
But, what have you guys seen from that?
Nick Lemon is my biggest takeaway from the team. Honestly, his 4th clean sheet in the game at Green Bay on Saturday. He's 3rd in saves and 2nd in goals allowed in the Horizon League. So he's been our whole defense basically. We've had 8 games unbeaten because nobody's able to score on us thanks to him. So he's been my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, the men's team kind of reminds me of the women's team last year. I remember them tying a lot of games. They had a really great goalie. I can't remember her name. I think it was Michaela something. I should
Sounds right, yeah.
I should have confirmed that, but I remember she was an absolute dog, like the best goalie in the Horizon League. And their scoring was kind of inconsistent. They really turned a corner, and I'll go ahead and transition that into women's soccer because I watched some games this week, and I was very pleased with what I saw. This team looks really good. They control the ball a lot. Their first game was against Purdue Fort Wayne, and then they had IU Indy yesterday. So from what I saw, this team it's kind of a team effort. There isn't like one star out there kind of controlling the ball at all times. Both games I kind of saw different stuff. The first game was a 1-0 victory, and the goal was pretty funny because it wasn't accredited to anybody. It just kind of somebody shot it. I can't remember who, but somebody shot it and it missed, but it's still like right there next to the goal. And the other person, or one of the Purdue Fort Wayne people, tried to head it over the goal, and it hit the crossbar and came back down and in.
Yeah, now that you brought that up,
Good
I
own
watched that
goal.
on Twitter last night. Yeah,
that was pretty great.
yeah.
And that was how we won the game, 1-0 against Purdue Fort Wayne, and just being able to win, having a great goalie, Cross. I can't remember her first name. I should have written those names down, but she's been pretty good there in the goal.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's our best defensive game for the women in this season. They only allowed 2 shots, only 1 shot on goal, and both attempts were in the 89th minute. So they didn't let them see anywhere close to the goal for pretty much the whole game. So this is the best defensive game I think they've played all season.
Yeah, I mean, great wins by NKU over Purdue Fort Wayne and IU Indy though, and they're 3rd in the Horizon League though. They're looking really strong, and I'm just excited to see what they got in store the rest of the season.
Yeah, Tristan Cross is the goalkeeper I was thinking of, but and it's in our Horizon League where Detroit Mercy has kind of shocked the Horizon League and leading the standings right now. So maybe they kind of fade away at some point, and that gives NKU a chance to come through. It's happened before, but that Detroit Mercy team does look very good. So I'd be surprised if that happens. But I'm excited to see what they can do. Like I said with volleyball, when we get to the conference tournament, because I think both teams currently find themselves in that position.
Yeah.
The men's maybe not as far up, but yeah, I mean it's a good time. The fall sports all doing well. So
Yep.
I was very impressed with the defensive performance against IU Indy as well.
Yeah,
They did allow a goal.
Did
but
you see that goal though?
Yeah, it was crazy.
That was a Sports Center top 10, as Matt Sexton said. Like, I don't even know what the footage would have been, like 25, 30 feet. Like, it was a deep shot.
Indy has Caroline Kelly, who's 6th in shots on goal in the Horizon League, and Emma Frey, who's 10th in goals.
Yeah.
So they did an excellent job in making sure that those weren't big factors in the game. So, I mean, they did allow a goal.
And controlled the
but it was
ball most of the
crazy.
game. Like I mentioned, like it more so than against Purdue Fort Wayne. I mean, I think, or actually, I that's not true because Purdue Fort Wayne had like 0 shots on goal the entire game.
Yeah, until the last minute.
Yeah, till the last minute. So, but still, like just controlling the ball, that's huge in soccer because as is well known as the reason I'm not a huge soccer guy, there's not a lot of scoring, but if you can make the more shots you can try and take, the better. And that's what NKU women's team, they take a lot of shots. So yeah, but anyways, I think that's all we have for NKU unless you guys have anything to add.
Oh no, I'm good.
Excited to see how the rest of the fall season plays out. But now it is time for our winner's circle. And I'm going to go ahead and go back-to-back. This wasn't my pick last week, but somebody else, I think Josh picked them last week. I'm going with Vandy because they not only defeated the number 1 team, but they also turned around and didn't choke like every other darling we've had this year. Georgia Tech, Memphis. Yeah, I guess maybe there was just like a Florida State thing. Maybe it wasn't just a general thing. But I like this Vandy team. I think they could end up in a New Year's Six Bowl if it all works out. They have a gauntlet of a schedule, so probably not. But
Yeah.
there's a chance. The games are played for a reason. The games are played for a reason. College football episode Easter egg.
All right, so my winner circle this week are the Oregon Ducks as they defeated Ohio State 32-31. Huge win in Eugene, so congrats to the Ducks.
Mine is the most underrated rookie in the WNBA, Leonie Phoebish, who had the best plus-minus in the series against Las Vegas, the 2-time defending champions, and who is averaging 60+% from 3 in these playoffs. She doesn't get talked about enough. I mean, I know there was Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, but Leonie Phoebish is not getting the recognition that she deserves for how electric she's been these playoffs.
Yeah, just all the discourse around those two. I could totally see how somebody would fall under the radar. So, yeah.
For me, it's the Cleveland Guardians, as much as I don't like to admit it, because they're the only hope we have for small market clubs winning a World Series, and they will now take on the New York Yankees.
And what about the Mets?
They're not small
They're
market.
not small market.
Oh, that's right. I kind of always picture them as small market.
They
'cause
literally
suck,
have the
but
highest payroll in baseball.
They do.
Yeah, because they're paying almost $100 million for 2 players that aren't even on the team.
But am I fair for thinking they've always just been little brothers? So
Oh yeah, they're absolutely. They're like the Jets
just don't
to the
think of it.
Giants and the Nets to the Knicks. It's just the way it is.
are the Jets the Giants? Yeah, I guess they are, aren't they? I just only know of them both kind of sucking, other than
Yeah,
Eli Manning does.
Those people,
For
poor
historical purposes.
Historically, yeah.
The,
Okay.
the Queens area literally cheers for Brooklyn,
The Jets.
the Jets,
The
and
Mets.
the Mets. They've had nothing. Meanwhile, and across the street, you've had the Yankees, the Giants, and then you have the Knicks who steal the limelight. So yeah, it's kind of been brutal.
So what you got over there, Garrett? Who's your winner?
My winner this week is the date October 12th. What
Gain
a,
some significance, huh?
what an electric day in college football. I mean, 4 overtime games, 3 of them decided by under 3 points, 1 decided by a late score from Tennessee. We were hyping up October 12th for a while, and October 12th most certainly delivered. And it looks like October 19th is shaping up to be just as good with plenty of marquee matchups on the slate. This is just all around. This is a great time. Mid-season college football. It's a great time for college football fans.
I was going to say, I think next week I might know what your pick's going to be.
Oh yeah,
The October 19th, because that was like a evenly as fun game, a slate of games there. But there is our winner's circle, and now we are going to move on to NASCAR, where I thought the officiating controversies were over, but we were at the Charlotte Roval last week. And shout out to Greg Biffle, who gave the green flag, and he's been considered an angel he's been doing a lot of hurricane relief efforts.
Yep.
So I just want to give a huge shout out to him for, he's got free time and he's using it for some good. So.
Yep.
But Ben, do you have a recap for the Roval?
Yes, sir, I do. So Charlotte Roval, like you mentioned, Kyle Larson with his 6th win of 2024 and his 2nd at the Roval. Christopher Bell in 2nd, William Byron in 3rd, Austin Cindric 4th, Chase Elliott 5th, AJ Allmendinger in 6th, Paul Mann, Shane Van Gisbergen in 7th, Joey Logano in 8th, Bubba Wallace in 9th, and Ryan Blaney in 10th. And moving on to a couple of our playoff drivers, Tyler Reddick in 11th, Denny Hamlin 14th, Daniel Suarez in 30th, Chase Briscoe in 36th, and Alex Bowman in 38th. And just a little...
It's not where he finished, though.
What's up?
It's not where he finished.
I mean, yeah.
I'm salty.
Yeah, I know. I feel your pain there. But race recap, Bowman, he went airborne into the curve, and...
Bowman?
Yeah, he hit the curb, and then...
Reddick did it too, didn't he?
I think he did, yeah.
Oh, okay. I only saw Reddick. I didn't see Bowman did too.
Yeah, and lap 31, Austin Dillon spins. This is when Tyler Reddick gets into trouble as he makes contact with Denny Hamlin as he went, like you mentioned, the back of the car bounced and it messed up his right rear. And throughout certain parts of the race, playoff drivers, they were getting aggressive for stage points. I mean, we saw it with Joey Logano and Daniel Suarez fighting for their playoff lives. Speaking of Suarez, lap 57, he has brake issues, more than likely ending his playoff run. And the end of the race, I got really interested, though, because it was Tyler Reddick versus Joey Logano for that last spot in the round of 8. But Reddick, even with the damaged race car, though, he still proves why he is such an elite road racer. He went from on the last restart, he went from 26th to 11th and advanced, and he got really lucky while he was going through the field. Though he tried to make a move on Daniel Hemrick, and he locks up the brakes. The car almost spins sideways, and he is so lucky Daniel Hemrick was there. And Joey Logano was losing positions, though. His car was not really handling well. And like I mentioned before, Reddick, one of the best on road courses, and Bowman gets disqualified, and Logano now advances, and Hendrick Motorsports is thinking about submitting an appeal.
I mean, you at least have to try, right?
Yeah, for sure. But overall, though, it was a good race.
Yeah, no,
it's always a good race for you, though.
Hey,
I mean, I like that battle between Reddick and Logano.
The Reddick and Logano was extremely entertaining. I watched it not live, but like it was probably just finishing when I tuned in to. I had a recording. I just kind of skipped through it. That's what I was trying to say. But words are hard 3 podcasts in. But that Tyler Reddick and Joey Logano, just watching Reddick just absolutely man his way through the field, and pretty much if Hemrick wasn't there, would not be in the playoffs. I wonder if Bowman would have been in the playoffs still if that happened.
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but anyways, probably not. Anyways, though, where was I at in my thought? But watching that battle is the beauty of the playoff system, is that you have these drivers in situations where you're going to have one guy who's falling backwards, one guy who's going forwards, and who is going to be able to come out on top. And Tyler Reddick came out on top in that one. And the Alex Bowman penalty bailed out Logano, of course. And they appealed it, or did they officially appeal it, or they're just thinking about it?
They're gonna get something going today.
I think they got to at least try.
Yeah.
But they might save their magic for Kyle Larson whenever he gets a disqualification or whatnot.
Apparently, there is new footage that emerged that may help Bowman.
Oh God,
I'm literally looking at the headline. It flat out says Alex Bowman disqualified. However, new footage could help appeal.
It seems like a very weird penalty. The penalty is because his car was lighter than in post-race inspection than pre-race inspection, which just seems like, I feel like it's hard to get away with that anyways. Why would you even try that, knowing you have, it's not like Alex Bowman was outside the playoffs. Yeah, he was on the cut line, but he knew he had a good shot of running fine. I don't think he had to cheat. That's why I feel like it has to be something like outside of Bowman's control or the team's control. It just doesn't seem like it's something I would expect more so of a Logano, somebody who was outside the cut line trying to get in. I would expect more so on that end for it happening. But I'm curious what that footage is about, and God, I hope they're able to get it overturned, because Alex Bowman deserves to be in this round of 8. He's done very well throughout this playoffs, and it's kind of like Chris Buescher. He's kind of just getting screwed over by the system. He should be able to at least have another chance at a championship. Well, he never had a chance at a championship before. But he should still have a chance to compete by the rules. And Joey Logano hasn't had a good regular season. He hasn't had a good playoffs outside of winning the race at Atlanta, and that's the only reason he sits here today. So
but I mean the rules are the way they are. They're getting it done. I mean, that's kind of all that matters. We'll see what happens. I like Bowman. He's one of the few Hendricks drivers, and by few, I mean the only Hendricks driver I've ever liked. So that says something. But come playoff standings now, we got Kyle Larson in first, plus 33. Christopher Bell, second, plus 13. Tyler Reddick, plus 10. William Byron, plus 4. On the bubble, below the cut line, however you want to say it, Ryan Blaney, minus 4. Denny Hamlin, minus 8. Chase Elliott, minus 9. And as of right now, Joey Logano, minus 11. These, I would argue that you could say outside Logano, if Bowman goes in there, those were the 8 best drivers this year.
If you swap Bowman and Logano, I'd agree.
Maybe you could replace a driver for Truex, even though he didn't win. He was very consistent throughout the year. but these were 7 of the 8 guys that I were like, okay, these were the title contenders.
I'd say you could argue a Chris Buescher or Bubba Wallace in there, honestly, with the way they finished the season, even though they didn't make the playoffs.
That's fair. Okay.
For sure.
I think you could argue those two in there, but thank you, playoff system, for not letting them compete.
That being said, though, the playoff system, I mean, it's going to work. This is going to be a fun 3 races with these 8 guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to cancel out Logano. Hope Bowman get in there, and we'll see what happens. Even though I don't want all 4 Hendricks in the finals, I will literally jump off the highest point. But that being said, we're going to Las Vegas. We're going to Homestead, and we are going to Martinsville. All I know is Kyle Larson's definitely getting in the next round and going to the championship.
Kyle Larson has the next round.
And William Byron is almost safe. He is top 5 driver in all 3 of the tracks.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Byron's probably safe. He's already kind of proved he can make it to there. Don't sleep on Chase Elliott at Martinsville, boys. Don't sleep on him there.
Not at all.
He can. That's Hendrick's track. If Hendrick already has Byron and Larson in, you don't think he's not going to give Chase his best stuff?
You say that's Hendrick's track, but I got a little stat to prove that wrong. The 2 best drivers since 2021 are Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney. That being said, 3, 4, 5 U.S. Kyle Larson, William Byron, Chase Elliott.
I'd like to ask a question about just the history of Martinsville as a track.
Yeah, okay.
Who owns that track?
That's fair. Okay. But what I'm saying is since the new car and everything else.
I get your point there.
And then you can't ever count out Mr. I've led 840 laps at Martinsville, Denny Hamlin.
But yeah, this is going to be a fun round of 8. I'm excited. I'd be more excited if Bowman was in there, but
before we get to Martinsville, we got to go to Vegas, and that's this weekend. Obviously, Kyle Larson will be favorite to win the race. He's dominated at this track, leading 602 laps, winning 3 of the last 7 races, 5 top 5s, 6 top 10s. Who is his biggest threat if you had to put someone out there, or maybe give multiple so you don't give away your 2-minute warning pick?
I would say his biggest threat is probably Tyler Reddick. If Alex Bowman is still in the playoffs, Vegas is one of his better tracks.
For sure.
And Homestead is also one of his better tracks. So, I mean, he's one of the best 1.5-mile drivers in the sport. But if he's not in the playoffs, I don't see him having that competitive. Well, he still could, but other than that, I mean, Hamlin's always going to be in there. Reddick, I would say Toyota's kind of been the team or the manufacturer I've had the vibes with. So I think they could definitely compete, and like you said, Byron's one of the. I don't know. You can have an argument for all of them. It's hard to keep track. What do you think, Ben?
Larson's biggest threat going into Vegas. I would 100% agree. Tyler Reddick, because 1.5 miles, they're always one of his best racetracks, and I feel like this is the perfect opportunity for Tyler Reddick to finally wake up. Like the beginning of the playoffs, it just hasn't gone his way. He only has a best finish of 20th. So, I look for him to try to flip the page and be the driver that we saw at the end of the regular season.
Is that not counting the Roval?
That's right. I forgot he finished 11th at the Roval. Yeah.
No, but
prior
still,
to the Roval.
Outside of that, that's
prior to the Roval. That's what I meant to say.
I don't know about Reddick being that then. But there's always one driver that's up there. They get to the round of 8.
I was going to ask, who was your pick to win the championship again, though, Ben?
Tyler Reddick.
Okay, just double check.
I'm so glad you advanced.
So, I mean, all 3 of our champions are still alive, right?
Yeah,
Blaney's still alive. You got Bell
and Reddick. So,
and it'll end up being Larson or Byron.
And one more comment on Vegas before we move on. Another driver I'm keeping an eye on is William Byron, because the beginning of the year, he looked like he was going to be a championship threat. I mean, he started out the year winning the Daytona 500 and won 3 of the first 8 races. And summer stretch, though, it's just been kind of a rough path. But since Kansas, though, he's turning around for sure. I mean, he's running up front a lot more, and he's being the driver that we're used to seeing, though. And Las Vegas is a great opportunity for him to possibly get a win and punch his ticket to Phoenix. So.
I thought he's got Martinsville to wrap it up. So
I will say one person who could steal it from the outside, though. It's Las Vegas, right, boys? Don't count Kyle Busch.
yeah, that's true.
It's Las Vegas.
Hometown guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up so Alex can start talking again.
I was like, when's basketball?
I did want to talk about the Xfinity because it was another, but I'll just briefly kind of summarize it. Basically, who was leading? Parker Kligerman was leading, coming to the white flag. But before that, there was a wreck. I'm not sure who the driver was, but he ended up under. Who was it?
Honeyman Jr.
Honeyman Jr.
Yeah,
I love that name.
Yeah.
But he ended up under the safer barrier. It wasn't safer barrier,
Tire
but
barrier.
the tire barrier. He ended up lodged under it and stuck under there, literally just sent to another dimension, and you could hardly see the car under it. So obviously you have to call a caution. But he sits there. He's on the TV for 20 seconds. They still haven't done anything, and they wait until this is the finish line. This is Parker Kligerman, and they call the caution right here as he's taking the white flag. So
Yeah.
Literally a car length or two away from the start finish line, and they call it. But they should have easily called it 30 seconds or wait until you take that white flag. At this point, you've already committed to it. Take the white flag, and then you end it. A lot of people are mad because Parker Kligerman got robbed, and he should have won, but he also should have just held him off on the restart. But still, it's just another situation of their excuse was they didn't have a view of it.
Yeah.
You don't have a view of it.
Yeah, that's
it's
ridiculous.
on national television, dog. You don't
Yeah.
have it. You don't have a screen in there with the race on there. You can't tell me. You can't tell me you don't have that. So just stupidity. They just decided at the last second they didn't want Kligerman to win. But just another example of NASCAR making a gray area where a gray area doesn't need to be added. But let's give our quick who's making the Final Four.
I'm gonna go weird and crazy. I'm gonna go Larson,
That's not weird.
Bell,
That's not weird.
Blaney.
That's not weird.
No, sorry, Larson, Hamlin.
That's weird.
Larson, Hamlin, Reddick, and Byron.
All right. Well, I'm going to just speak it out of existence. Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, and give me Chase Elliott, damn it.
You know the best driver in Martinsville is Joey Logano. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Stop it. I have to speak it out of existence. Logano's winning the championship. There you go. He can't win it now. I said it. He cannot win it.
And you're 4, Ben?
All right, so I got Tyler Reddick.
yeah.
I got Tyler Reddick, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, William Byron.
I'm trying to think of the Logano comparison for Alex. Who would be the villain?
Let me think about that. We'll get back to it.
We'll get back to it. We'll give you that comparison though. But now it is time for the triple threat trivia. So Garrett, you are also welcome back on the podcast. What do you have?
Hi. I do, in fact, have a trivia question, and this is going to be a bit of a callback to our NFL pick show. The Tampa Bay Bucks set a single-game franchise record with 594 yards of total offense against the Saints this past weekend. That got me thinking about teams that have put up a lot of yards. And my question to you is, can you name me the team that's put up the most yards in a single game? I will give you a hint of it has happened very recently. It is very recent. You should know it.
It's got to be the Kansas City Chiefs.
I
Not
didn't
the
say
Kansas
it.
City Chiefs.
Atlanta Falcons.
The Dolphins.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
70. Gosh.
Miami
darn it.
Dolphins put up 726
Nice
yards
one.
of offense last year against the Russell Wilson-led Broncos squad.
Alex is now 2-0 on the show.
I don't like to brag or anything. but-
My old brain instantly went to the St. Louis Rams and the greatest show on turf. They had to put up crazy amount of yards.
Right.
And once he said recent, I was like, it's got to be the Chiefs then. No, the Dolphins make a whole lot more sense.
Yeah. I forgot that. It's hard looking at this team now. It's hard to imagine they ever did anything recently. But yeah. So guys, that was a great one. That was a great.
Another
trivia
reason
question.
I don't want Russell Wilson starting for my team. Anyways,
All right, let's move on down to the NBA preview, as we are now going to talk about the top 5 teams in the East and West, plus the Lakers. because we wanted to hear Alex's take on his favorite team. I hear you actually have takes on both of them. Let me list off the teams, and I'll let you. Both Los Angeles teams. I should have put that in there. Let me list off the teams, and I'll let you take it away. In the East, we have Orlando, Cleveland, Milwaukee, New York, and Boston. In the West, we have Dallas, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Minnesota Timberwolves, Denver, I almost said Broncos, but the Nuggets, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. So, Alex, let's hear your take on Los Angeles. I need to get some popcorn.
First, I'm going to go with the Clippers. Obviously lost to the Mavs in the first round. Lost Russell Westbrook, so congratulations. They also lost Paul George. That hurts.
Yep.
Added Chris Dunn, Cam Christie, Derrick Jones, and Mo Bamba. They're relying on Kawhi to stay healthy and Harden to stay happy.
That doesn't sound like it's a good thing.
It's not going to be a good thing.
How long has he been there?
His
second year?
2 years now, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's a little beyond his typical stay. Huh?
It's about that time. This team, I would be surprised if they even make the play-in.
Wow.
Making my way to the Lakers, my favorite team. They lost 4-1 to Denver. Anyways, they fired Darvin Ham. Congratulations, us. And added J.J. Redick.
Yeah.
I do have to ask, what is your take on that? I think we talked about it before, but just recap it again.
Can't be worse. Offense will be better. Defense might be worse, actually. So we'll see how it goes. Lost Dinwiddie and Torian Prince. Not losing sleep over that. Added Don't Connect and Bronny James. So just wanted to run through our potential lineups for you all.
Let's hear it.
We have D'Lo, Reeves, Rui, Braun, AD. That sounds fairly solid. Then Connect, Max Christie, Gabe Vincent, Jackson Hayes, Christian Wood, Jared Vanderbilt. Half of those people on the bench I just mentioned are going to be out like the first 3 or 4 months.
So what about Bronny?
Bronny's going to be in the G League in November.
You think his dad's going to let that happen?
Yeah, for sure. They're going to have a fun, feel-good story for the first month until the G League season starts, which is in November. And there you go.
Yeah.
I do think this team gets better because they're actually going to run plays on offense. Because J.J. Redick is an offensive mastermind for sure. But I think they take the Clipper spot. I think they take like the 5 seed instead of the 7 seed. They won't be a play-in team this year, hopefully. But I don't think this team makes it past the first or second round in the playoffs, even if they have a secure spot.
I
in the
was
playoffs.
gonna ask, and I know you're a fan, so you can't really say it. So I guess I turn to you guys, specifically you, Colton. Is there any chance the Lakers would miss the playoffs?
I don't think so.
Because we talked about it, the West is tough.
It is. It is. I like J.J. Redick as a coach. I'm the weirdo here. I think, like you said, he's an offensive mastermind, and I think if he can I think he's smart enough to see what Darvin Ham did defensively, which was good for the most part. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I think he'd be smart enough to okay, this worked for Darvin Ham defensively. I'm gonna incorporate that along with my offense, and I think that makes for, like you said, a 5 to 6 seed. However, there's a possibility just with how deep this West is.
Yeah, because I mean we talked about it because we're all high on Memphis. You're extremely high on Houston, and you talked about them possibly jumping up. So there's possibly the Lakers being down at a 5, 6, 7 seed, 3 seeds off of that. I don't know. I have a hard time imagining it because LeBron. Enough said. LeBron.
Right.
But it's just still one of those things I had to throw out there. But your Clippers take about missing the playoffs, I was there with you. I don't think they're going to get in. I will admit they got edgier this offseason. It seems like if they want to fight somebody, they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
With Bamba re-signing Batum, Derrick Jones Jr., Kevin Porter Jr. So they're going to have that grit.
Yeah.
But then they also have soft James Harden. So it kind of balances out everything.
Yeah, they have the misfits, so they're gonna miss the playoffs. That's what's gonna happen.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that sounded weird in principle, but yeah, Kawhi will play 20 games, and who knows? Maybe he'll request a trade. Maybe
I'd say Harden will by the middle of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
All right. One of the things I'm concerned about was the loss of Westbrook and the loss of Paul George. Like, I agree. They're going downhill.
Yeah.
Paul George for sure. I would not be concerned
Westbrook
about the
wouldn't be
loss
the-
of Westbrook.
Yeah, he'll be an interesting fit on the Nuggets, though. I think.
I was going to talk about the
Wanna move to
Nuggets
that?
next.
That's
Yeah, move
perfect
straight to-
segue.
yeah,
Yeah.
Moving to the Nuggets. Their additions are Dario Saric and Russell Westbrook. And Russell Westbrook. They did lose KCP to the Magic, and Reggie Jackson they traded to the Hornets. The thing about Russell that I kind of like on the team is if Joker really did go to management and say, I want this guy, that's got to say something. Joker doesn't tell the management anything. Joker doesn't talk basketball. Joker talks horses.
Horse.
Yeah, horses in his homeland. So the fact that he saw enough in Russell that he thought he could work with it, it would be very interesting to see how maybe a motivated Russell Westbrook looks with a guy like Joker, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon. Because does Russell back up Jamal, or do you maybe move Jamal to the 2 sometimes and let Russ play point?
man.
I think you have Russell as your backup, your 6th man,
Yeah.
and I think he'll be a great addition in that sense of just being a leader on that bench. But yeah, it's a weird fit because I don't know if you can really put Jokic and Westbrook on the court at the same time. They both kind of need the ball in their hands. If Westbrook's going to be a good passer, he has to have the ball in his hands, and that's something that he contributes. He definitely brings effort. He brings boards, but at this point in his career, does he really bring anything else? I don't know. I hope it works out. Honestly, to see Russell Westbrook win a championship would make me happy.
Definitely.
I've always
I think he's
held
like number
a high
one.
respect for him.
Yeah, he's number one on my players of like I would love to see win a title before it was all said and done, because the man deserved one if it wasn't for LeBron and Wade and Bosch doing what they did and James Harden not showing up in a playoff series.
Yeah.
Or even just Russ has gotten way too much hate in his career, in my opinion.
I think so.
You can probably speak a little bit better on it since he used to play for your team.
If I may, that's what I was going to say. If I may interject, I've seen a team like KCP walk and sign Westbrook. This is not going to go well.
I mean, that's,
History does tend to repeat itself.
They also let go of Reggie Jackson, who I think is a way better backup at the point than Russell Westbrook, but I wish the best for him. I don't wish any evil on him. He didn't ask to come to the Lakers.
Yeah.
They went out and made a move that didn't fit the team, but I don't think this works out for him either.
Where'd Reggie Jackson go?
Hornets, I think I read. Traded to the Hornets.
That's a team.
I didn't know
that.
Yeah.
That's news to me. But moving along here, Ben, are there any top 5 teams you'd like to talk about?
I think one I want to point out are the Dallas Mavericks. Obviously, they signed Klay Thompson, though. It'll be interesting to see how he'll bounce back after having a rough year last year in Golden State. I mean, he wasn't really the player that we're used to seeing. But yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do with Luka and a couple of other players. Kyrie Irving. Yeah, I forgot for a second, but
It's weird to think I'm being on Dallas. So.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, I feel like this can be a really good trio in the West, and they're bringing back a lot of guys from that finals team last year. So I feel like they're going to be a threat to be in the finals this year. I can feel it.
Derek Lively is going to be in the second year. That was rookie year Derek Lively last year, right? Or is he? Oh, maybe not.
He may have been 2 years
He
in.
was he 2 years in? My fault. Time moves so fast.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Ben. They lost Tim Hardaway and Derek Jones, but they added Dinwiddie, Quentin Grimes, and Najee Marshall. So, and obviously Clay. But
Yeah.
I think they definitely got better. I still
That
think
Marshall's
this team,
underrated pickup too.
I still think this team can make the Western Conference Finals. And if I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but Jamarion Sharp, if he is any type of prospect that works out for that defense, Luka gets that much better because he doesn't have to worry about somebody blowing by him.
Yeah. No, as long as you got Luka, and if Kyrie can I don't even know how to explain what happened to Kyrie in the playoffs, because it was like he's being a good teammate, but it's like
Right.
do something. And if he can kind of get back to that, I think this is a scary team.
For sure.
This is absolutely a scary team.
Well, moving on to the real scary team of the West, the Minnesota Timberwolves is where I want to talk about. Re-signed Luke Garza, not anything there, but they were part of the biggest trade this offseason. Getting Julius Randle and getting Dante DiVincenzo, who's trying to fight people on the sidelines apparently.
Fight Jalen Brunson's dad.
Oh,
Which
man.
doesn't surprise me. They talked about him and DiVincenzo had beef at Villanova.
Yeah.
So
Obviously, lost Cat. I'm going to throw it to you, Colton, first, because I know you laughed at that take. I personally think this is a move to help them get better, along with drafting Shannon, along with drafting, I'm going to mess it up, but it is Dillingham, right? Dillingham?
Rob Dillingham.
Rob Dillingham.
Kentucky.
You got Nasri, who was already a bench player, sixth man of the year. You got Naw coming off the bench. I'm telling you, I love this Minnesota team, so talk me differently.
I'm not going to be able to convince you wrong. One thing I do disagree, I don't think this trade made him better. I just don't. I think I like Julius Randle. Like, I hate having to be the negative guy here, and I hope they all prove me wrong because I'm happy to see the Timberwolves after so long of sucking, thriving. But I think Cat is just a much more versatile player than Julius Randle. I think Randle can do stuff with the ball in his hands, but we saw what happened when he was playing point guard, which that was just atrocious, and he won't have to do that in Minnesota. But I'm interested to see what they can build around him. I think this is still probably a top 5 team. Yeah, no, this is definitely a top 5 team. I'm tripping, but it wouldn't shock me to see Minnesota just pull a Minnesota, because it is easy to forget that was just 1 year of success. Sometimes you have those 1-year wonders. I think of the Kings or somebody else, but I think that there's a little different situation. But I don't know about the fit of Randall and Edwards, two people who require the ball in their hand to kind of be an effective player. But maybe Randall takes a different step in his game that I just haven't seen from him yet.
My concern would be his health.
Yeah, that too.
You have to rely on that. I mean, they got better with the bench, Dillingham, DiVincenzo, and Terrence Shannon.
Yeah.
But having to rely on Julius Randle's health, looking at the last 2 or 3 years, it's not a good plan, honestly. And then not as talked about as much, but they also lost Kyle Anderson, who was a big part of that team, even though he likes to be the joke of the team for sure. But he's a big part of that team that they're definitely going to miss. So I don't think that they got better. They may be the same or maybe a little bit worse, but I don't see this team making it very far in a much more loaded West.
I think it's understated just how good Cat was there towards the end of his tenure there. I think he was marking probably some all-NBA stuff. I mean, his defense had really improved. I watched him lock up Jokic. I did not see that. So I think Cat is being incredibly undervalued in this trade. But also, I don't know how he's going to fit with his former head coach, Tom Thibodeau, who's like the opposite of what I think when I think of Cat. So, I mean, hopefully it all works out, because I really like this New York Knicks team, which we could maybe move on to. But, Ben, do you have anything you want to say?
I mean, overall, I'm just excited to see what Dante DiVincenzo,
as Josh Hart calls him.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously one of the best shooters in the NBA, and I feel like he's going to adapt really well with Minnesota, and who knows, they might be on a run.
And he always hits shots in the fourth quarter. Like, you see him put up a shot in the fourth quarter. I know this as going up as a Pacers fan.
Yeah,
it's in. Like, you just know. You just have to hope he doesn't hit enough to be the difference of the game.
And he comes off the bench right now, right? He doesn't start, or does he start?
I don't think so. I could see some lineups they flex him in there, but with Ant at shooting guard, no, I don't think so.
He'll come off.
But, so let's go ahead and talk about the other team in that trade, the New York Knicks. They made another big trade that I would argue it was pretty big for them as well. Mikal Bridges is also, I think, a guy who got undervalued in his time at Brooklyn. No, he's not the number 1 option. Now he's number 3? Yeah, number 3 on the team. Definitely number 3. But this is a guy who almost won Defensive Player of the Year. He was second in DPOY. I bring that up every time that I talk about him, because that's something that was missing from his game in Brooklyn. He will bring that back with Tom Thibodeau as his coach. He's also the Iron Man. I know at some point that he's going to miss a game, but it's okay. He'll the other 81. He'll still be a great player, and I think he will be better not having to be the focal point of the defense. Not having to worry about every team game playing around him. He's going to thrive with that. I didn't even mention they have OG Anunoby, who's another could be Defensive Player of the Year candidate, can play all 5 levels, can defend all 5 levels. I love this team. I love this team a lot. I could talk about them all day, so I'll let you guys talk about it before I do.
Listen, the Knicks would have been successful last year in the playoffs if everybody didn't basically die. They just got better. They lost Hartenside and Randall, of course, but added pieces, and that's just what they need is role players like Kevin McCullough, Tyler Kolick, Landry Shamet. Like, they just got guys to fill those roles consistently, and that's all they need. I mean, obviously, Cat is a huge get, so I think this team's just going to get that much better, and they're definitely going to have a better result than they did last year.
The only thing I'm going to add on to all this is I am so ready for the Stephen A. Smith rants about this team this year because they are going to be insanely hot takes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I'm excited to see what the Knicks do with, especially with Karl Anthony Towns, how he'll develop as a player in New York. And also Tyler Kolick, though. I watched him a couple times at Marquette, though. Like his game, he has the ability to find his teammates and share the basketball. I feel like that's going to be a key part on this offense. So overall, though, I'm excited to see what the Knicks have in store.
Yeah, I mean, their big question was their size. They had Mitchell Robinson, but he's an injury-prone guy, and now they just got Cat, who's 6'11", or is he 7 foot?
6'11", I think.
6'11",
Yeah.
6'10", or somewhere around that range. I know who's a taller guy. He can play some center for sure in this league, and I think that as long as he's able to stay healthy and all that, having Mitchell Robinson that you can switch, there's just so much switchability. You can adjust your lineup for whatever team you're playing, what you need. Do you need a better defensive guy? Okay, let's put OG in at this part, but I could go on and on about that. We're going to gloss over the Celtics because you are, if you follow basketball, you already know about this team. You know what they're going to look like this year. They're going to be title contenders. They're
Without a doubt.
probably destined to go back to back, but I think New York has something to say about that. Milwaukee, y'all picked up Darvin Ham, as Alex said earlier. I hope they can figure it out, but you have Doc Rivers as your coach, so you might have a good regular season, but you'll just suck in the playoffs.
They have Doc Rivers and Darvin Ham. Until they get serious about their coaching staff, this team's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
They'll go further than they did last year because they went out in the first round because of Giannis injuries. But
Yeah.
it's not. I mean, they added good pieces: Terrence Davis, Gary Trent Jr., and Torian Prince. Sometimes.
Yeah, that's who I was trying to think of, Gary Trent Jr. I think that's a really big
Torian
pickup.
Prince may start. Darvin Ham loves him. But
No,
anyways,
God.
yeah, this team's going to do better, but they're not championship contenders with this coaching staff.
So I'll ask a question. They're basically, from the sounds of it, it sounds like they're wasting Giannis. How long till Giannis goes, get me out of here?
Ooh.
I don't see it happening, honestly.
Playoff loss?
So
I think he's got championship on his eyes this year. They don't make it to the conference championship, at least.
and they won't.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
No.
Unless
No.
Damian Lillard returns to when he was getting MVP talks for him, which he's not. So
Right.
I mean, yeah, if they go out in the
unfortunately,
first
I can
round,
dream.
maybe, but yeah, I think he's just too loyal. I don't see him going anywhere unless it's drastic, like a first round exit.
Well, I
With a
mean,
fully healthy team.
if Jokic gets a championship, because that's his big competition on the all time. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. You never know with the NBA. But
Right.
looking around, let's go back to the West. We talked about Denver, Minnesota, Dallas, OKC. It's going to be the same thing as Boston, where they're running it back. We do have to mention the additions they made, though. They added Isaiah Hartenstein. We mentioned with the New York losing them. That was a big lose for the New York, and that's a big gain for Oklahoma City. And they picked up Alex Caruso. That's nothing flashy, but that's huge for a team that pretty much lost their series because they didn't have size to compete with the Timberwolves. That was who they played, right? Yeah, Minnesota.
The
Or was it
Mavericks,
Dallas?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yep.
Yeah, that feels like so long ago. My memory's shot. But yes, regardless, either team would have bullied them in the pain.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's definitely something that they needed to fix, and they fixed it with Isaiah Hartenstein. I don't know how is he a good defender?
Yeah.
He's a good defender, I guess. I
You don't get picked up by the Knicks unless you're a good defender.
That's
so.
true. That's a great point. That's a great point, Alex. What do you guys think about
How big
anything
losing
with-
Giddy? That's my question. to
Not
you
big
two.
at all
Not
because
at
you
all.
got
Not big
Alex
at all.
Caruso.
Okay. then that's-
Giddy was kind of odd man out anyways. I'm interested to see what he does in Chicago, but
I mean, it's basically his team in Chicago.
yeah, which is weird to think about. But he was kind of odd man out because he can't shoot the ball. Or he kind of shot the ball okay. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We don't need to spend time on it. What are some other teams you guys want to talk about, though?
I wanted to talk about the Magics.
The Magic?
Magic.
Magic.
So they added KCP and Corey Joseph. They lost Joe Ingles. It kind of seems like an
Adding
thing to me.
KCP is usually a good sign.
So it's a team that kind of re-signed everybody. They brought back the Wagner brothers. They brought back Isaac to a real long extension, which I'm kind of surprised with his health issues. Brought back Gary Harris, Will Carter Jr., and Goga. Do you know how to say his last name?
No idea.
Bia-
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 Ben, what you got?
Okay. Screw you, Garrett.
But anyway, so it was kind of a team that recycled their stuff. But I like what they're building. They seem like a team that could be like an Oklahoma City Thunder type team in the East. My only issue is they still don't have that crazy star player to go with Banchero. I know that's what they want Franz to be. So could you see Franz becoming that guy this season, taking the next step and being the Robin to Banchero's Batman?
Possibly. Do I think it'll happen? No.
Yeah.
This team finished fifth last year. I see the best they'll finish this year's third, just because they added KCP, who adds offense that you can go to when you need it. But that's their biggest problem. They still don't have enough offense. They're great defensively, but they don't have enough offense to make it far in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the thing with them is KCP is definitely going to be huge. And maybe he can lead some guys on this bench to get better as well. I don't see the guy who's going to break out and be that. Franz could. He's just one of those that, for me, he's good at everything but not great at anything. And which is a great player to have, but you do need that next star. I don't know where it's going to – it would just take somebody coming out of nowhere and like, oh, yeah, I'm actually a great scorer. I can get you 20 points a game and whatnot. And I just don't know where that is on this team.
I'm going to say I would love for them
Maybe
to –
Cole Anthony, honestly. I could see it.
Cole World?
I guess I'm sure, yeah. But I could see Cole Anthony becoming that. I could see Jalen Suggs becoming that if he taps into his Gonzaga times. But
I did think they didn't run the offense through Jalen Suggs enough last season. So
no, yeah, I think, yeah, honestly, I just remember Jalen Suggs was on that team. I don't know. I didn't do much prep because of the Bengals game last night. So, but yeah, Jalen Suggs could absolutely do that. Don't sleep on him for maybe a most improved player of the year.
Yeah.
So let's see who do we have left
last
here.
is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, not much to talk about. They added JT Thor, and then they
There's
re-signed.
much to talk about. Kenny Atkinson's a good coach. He made D'Lo look like he was headed for All-NBA career.
But I'm talking about additional player-wise. There's nothing, and they lost no one.
But yeah, they're a good team. They got a good team around them.
But I wasn't. You know what?
Continue.
Anyway, so they re-signed Jared Allen, Isaac Okoro, Spider, Evan Mobley, and Tristan Thompson. So they're basically going, we need to get healthy. So we need to get healthier than we were last year. Because I mean, injuries. You want to talk about injuries piling up? The Cavs went through a crap ton of injuries. Spider didn't play in the last series. Is that right to me?
I think
he got hurt and didn't play.
might have missed a game.
But did he? I think he still played. Did he?
Might have
Sounds
missed one
about right.
game.
But yeah, so that whole situation, it's Cleveland. I can't cheer for him. I can't buy into him, so I refuse to talk anything about him. So somebody else take him.
I think Cleveland's got a good team. I like Evan Mobley. He's one of my favorite players to watch in the NBA. But Alex, you were going to say something before I cut you
I
off.
just think they're going to end up basically in the same spot, 4 or 5, because the top of the East is too loaded. So they're going to be forced to be right there in the middle again.
I'll be honest.
Which is a good spot, but it's not contending for a championship.
I'm not super high on that Bucks team. I could see Cleveland sneaking into that 3rd seed.
That's fair.
I think Kenny Atkinson's a great coach as well. That we saw that at what he could do at Brooklyn with, like, I think Jared Dudley was getting rotation minutes at that point in his career. So like, I think he could figure something out with this team. I don't think JB Biggerstaff, that's who their last coach was, right? Yeah, JB was a good coach, but he was just a good coach that wasn't going to get you anywhere. I think with Kenny, and they can just stay healthy. They can get the help with health. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Isaac Okoro kind of took some leaps. He looked like a competent player last year. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. Yeah, I like that. I like that to give some problems maybe to a Knicks team. Maybe.
Yep.
I can't finish that sentence. Maybe not the Celtics, but.
So if I asked you over maybe the next 3 years, we'll go 3 years. So see the future a little bit.
Okay.
Who's got the better future, Cleveland or Orlando?
Oh, wow.
Probably Orlando, right?
Yeah.
Just because I don't know what Donovan Mitchell's going to do. I don't think the Knicks are going to take him, right?
I mean, they just literally extended Donovan, so he ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
The Heat are the only rumor that he was talking about going, but they'd have to get rid of Jimmy and Tyler.
He would be the perfect Jimmy replacement.
I think Orlando just has the easier problems to fix.
Yeah.
It's the offense, and that's really all it is. And there are definitely pieces you could fill in there. The Cavs are just kind of stuck in this middle ground of just being okay.
Yeah, I guess that would be my question is, like, who could Orlando add that could make them a quote-unquote threat maybe a year or two from now? Like, is there a scorer out there that's rumor on the trade block kind of thing? Or because getting someone to go to Orlando is hard.
Paul George would have been perfect. Paul George probably puts this team in, like, top in the East
For
contention. If they can just get a steal in the draft, that's just – they don't even have to be, like, a good all-around player, just somebody you can put 20 points a game. I'm sorry, but a J.J. Redick type player, if you can get a J.J. Redick type guy, then I think that's really all this team is missing, because the defense is there, and that keeps them in every game they have, and Paolo will win them games just on his own, but they just need somebody else, and maybe they already have it. I think Jalen Suggs is kind of underrated if he can get the scoring going.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, fair enough.
I know you like Cleveland possibly stealing the 3, but I actually like Orlando.
I like Orlando
taking
possibly.
that 3 spot.
I like Indiana doing it more so, but
don't. Hey, look, it's not the Pacer Hour. That came on the last show. That's never going to be seen.
But the Indiana's so good.
But yeah, so any last thoughts over to you, Alex, before we wrap everything
Any
up?
hot takes or?
Not that I can think of.
I will shameless plug. Next Monday, we will be doing our NBA draft. We all 4 will be here. Garrett will be here, and I can't wait to see Garrett's draft picks. And then Logan will be joining us, and we'll have a few other people online drafting with us. We're looking forward to it, so make sure you join us.
Round out the player list on there. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you're
I didn't
good.
cut
No,
you
you're
off.
good.
Thinking out loud.
Yeah, so that's all I've got. So if nobody has anything else to
Any
add,
rapid
I got a quick comment on the Cavs real quick.
Okay, yeah.
So I feel like if they could stay healthy, though, I feel like they can show a lot of potential. I mean, I like Darius Garland. I like Spida, of course, and Evan Mobley. I feel like that can also be a great trio, so can't wait to see it.
I just feel like the East is a 2-man race.
I'll throw out my hot take. Minnesota is like a 4 or 5 seed, if not playing team.
That's a weird way to say they're the 1 seed, but okay.
Yeah, weird way to say it, huh? Well, it's that time, huh?
I guess it's that time. Yep.
Totally 2-minute warning.
Yes. So we
Let's
got
hear
the 2-minute warning, gentlemen. First off, out of the top 5 seeds, which one of these teams do you likely see falling off? Alex, I feel like I know your answer.
Yeah, it's the Clippers. No question. This team's destined to implode.
Yep, fair enough. Golden?
Bucks.
Bucks.
Clippers. Next up, who is your early MVP of the NFL? Because it seems wide open that the fact Patrick Mahomes is number 1 in Vegas blows my mind.
Same.
Colton, to you.
Derrick Henry. I was on the McCaffrey train last year. I'm on the Derrick Henry. I'm also saying this because I know he was going to say Lamar, so I want to do something different. Yeah, give me this. Is finally where the running back takes it back.
I'm going Sam Darnold. He's proven a lot of people wrong.
I am going to stick with my preseason pick and go with C.J. Stroud because that offense is getting back in groove again.
Definitely.
I'm going to take the guy who is 5th in passing, 2nd in touchdown passes, and 2nd in QBR, Joe Burrow. Next up.
Okay.
I know, I'm hallucinating, but it's fine.
Copium.
You know, I can cope any way I need to. Next up. Crap, what was the next question?
It was the top 25.
Oh, yeah. So AP Top 25 came out. Who was the most surprising team you see or don't see on the list? Ben.
UC.
Fair enough.
I just want to highlight this team. I'm not surprised. Iowa State, if they have an offense, is a title contender.
UConn should be number 1. They're back-to-back champions. That they're number 3 is criminal.
Yeah, that's actually such a W take.
Top 25 college basketball, Rutgers just still doesn't make sense to me. But UC in the top 20, I was very surprised to see.
Same. Yeah.
Love to see it. And then obviously for us 3 gentlemen, even though I'd love to see
Alex has an answer.
Alex has
right?
a take for this. So NASCAR wise, who wins in Las Vegas? Alex, we'll throw it to you first.
Ricky Bobby.
Colton?
You guys go. I forgot my pick there.
I'm going with William Byron. Like I mentioned before, I feel like he's running much better, though, and Las Vegas is a great track for him, so I look for him to punch his ticket to Phoenix.
Larson.
Simple as that.
Tyler Reddick.
Okay.
All right, so that'll go ahead and finish up the episode. What a long day of shooting, fellas. But if I could do this for a job for the rest of my life, I'd be happy. You know,
Yeah,
just
sure,
sit here and Yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and wrap up the show. Thank you all for listening. Be sure to like and hit that subscribe button. We're looking to get to 50 subscribers, and you'll find out what our super secret giveaway that was supposed to be Reds tickets, but the Red season ended. So you'll find out what that is, but be sure to also follow us on Twitter at NorseBWPod. I think we're going to be getting some new stuff on there, right? You got some big plans with especially our pick shows, but some stuff on here as well. So be sure to go follow to check out what's going on there. So thank you, Bill. Thank you, Garrett, for all that you do. Thank you, NKU Media Services. Thank you, co-host, for coming on. Thank you, Alex, for being such a great guest.
Thanks for having me.
You'll be back on next week, or else I'd say you're welcome to come on anytime. Yeah. You're also still just welcome to come on anytime. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.